please. Come on, son.
Dustin Rider Dino.
Hey YouTube, Dustin Rider here. Welcome to my review for the Power Rangers Dino Fury Amazon exclusive 5-figure pack. So this, obviously, as you can tell, is an Amazon exclusive, and its bonuses include, as of right now, they are the only way to get the Green and Black Ranger figures, which have not been released at regular retail. Apparently, they're supposed to release in individual normal releases at regular stores next year in 2022, but as of right now, this is the only way to get them. And then, of course, also, as you can see, they all have their regular swords right here, which is something that was not included in their regular releases. You know, pretty par for the course stuff. It's got, you know, the black handle and then the silver tip here. Hey-oh! But, you know, the original ones came with these weird sort of US exclusive weapons that we have not even seen in the show yet. The season 1 finale just aired and we haven't seen them in the show. Who knows? But that's the only way to get the regular swords unless you swap them out from the gimmick figures. It also includes right here this little buckle like they use in the show. I don't have mine anymore from the original Ryusoulger, but I do have the footage for it, so I'll put up a little side comparison right now so you can see. But it's really not the same thing. I mean, the other one was basically just a gimmick to get you to buy this so you could get more keys. But this one's pretty basic. It's just all this bronze plastic. It looks pretty boring. It can open up and it can store keys in there, but only the keys that come with the figures like this. And these also include the 5 individual keys, which we'll go over in a second, that would come with these, which are basically identical to that. But just so you know, they can't hold the ones from the Zords. Like the ones you get with the Zord set, the heads will come over it and you can't put them in there. So just be aware of that. And then it comes with this little clip here on the back that you just snap in right here so you can buckle it on. But, you know, it's kind of a nice little bonus release, I guess, for kids and stuff. But it's pretty boring and overall kind of unnecessary, if we're being honest. But now let's get on to the figures themselves. Let's go ahead and start with the ones we don't have yet. So here we have the Black Ranger right here. And, you know, it's pretty much par for the course stuff. You know, in general, thinking about it, the head sculpts on the original 3 look a little bit strange compared to the proportions in the show. And I think that's the same for Black. It doesn't look bad by any means. Like, I think the silver paint looks good. And it overall looks solid for your sort of basic, you know, standard figure that's not $20 or more. But it looks a little bit smushed. It kind of looks like somebody rested something on top of him in the bag and the antenna and everything smushed, so the proportions to me just look a little bit off. But all the other details look fine. I think because he's a Black Ranger, you don't have to worry about any color discrepancies or anything, and the silver looks really nice off of it. You do have the different color discrepancies, speaking of right here with this light gray and then this nice silver right here, which bothers me a little bit. I just kind of hate stuff like that. But again, this is the basic figure. And you have the same kind of basic skinny mold, which is more accurate than some of the old school muscly figures. You have your same standard articulation. You got your hinge joint right here, swiveling in and out, elbow joint right here, you got swiveling at the fist, you got a ball joint right here at the leg, knee joint right here. No swiveling at the waist, but you can swivel the head. And something of note, when I got pretty much all of these guys, their head joints were really stiff. Like they were all looking weirdly off to the side, and I really had to press it to knock it out of that. It was really strange. So yeah, he's overall okay. He just looks a little bit strange to me, to be honest, just with the proportions. And speaking of strange proportions here, with Izzy, you have this really weird too long neck. It looks almost freakish. It looks really strange. Like obviously you have a difference here because this is a female mold and in Ryusoulger it was male, so this is a unique thing, which is kind of neat for us. But I think that pink looks a little bit better. I think the skirt balances her out. The mold for me here looks a little bit strange, even compared to Beast Morphers Yellow. Maybe that's also because Beast Morphers Yellow kind of had that leathery suit design, so it also kind of balanced it out a little bit. But this one just looks extra lanky and kind of strange. And again, Amelia's about to fall over, so I'm going to set her down. The neck is just a little bit too much. It's just a little too much, and with the helmet on there, it makes the proportion look really strange. Like, I actually think the helmet sculpt looks pretty good. Again, the details on him, much like with Blacks, look really good. You know, the silver looks really nice, and it balances off the red, and the green. I was going to talk about the little red eyes here, that's why I got distracted, but I like that they have those little details in there. That's something they easily could have skipped over. And other than the color discrepancies, I think the details on it look solid, but I just feel that the mole on this looks a little bit strangely lanky, and again, the neck thing is a little bit weird, and that's not something I really notice as much over here with pink. Maybe it's just because of the way your helmet is, but I know they're using some of the same molds. It definitely is a little bit strange, and a little bit disappointing that green and black feel a little bit strange to me after waiting so long for them. But you have the same par for the course articulation here, nice knee joint and ball joint down here. You get your swiveling at the head, up and down movement, hinge joint here, elbow joint here, and thankfully no loose joint problems on any of these guys. Like I said, the only problem I had was that weird thing where all their heads were sticking, which was just really strange. Now let's talk about some of the ones we already got. So since Pink's already here and I need to set her up anyway, here is Pink, you know, pretty much almost the same figure we got. You can see right here, this is the original release to see some differences. I don't see a huge amount of differences in the color of like the main suit, but the helmet does look a little bit different. The visor is a little bit wider. I'm not sure which one's more accurate, to be honest, but it definitely is noticeable that the visor is a little bit wider, but the general mold and everything else about it is the same. It's not like it's a new super articulated mold, and she has the same mold as green for articulation, with the obvious difference being she has a skirt piece here, but it's actually fairly flexible. Like, you're probably still going to run into some problems if you want to pose it a little more extreme, with it just getting in the way a little bit, but it's one of the more posable ones, which is actually really nice. And overall, I still think it's a decent figure, and I don't have as many weird proportion problems either with her helmet or with the general figure itself. Alright, then we have Red. Let's compare him to his counterpart here. Again, I think the main difference comes in the visor being a little bit wider. You can see right there, this one just, it's more like the little teeth are more far between, and these have thicker teeth lines, which makes the visor appear wider. So you can see the differences there. I don't know if that's a huge deal to people. And again, off the top of my head, I can't really think of one that looks more accurate than the other. I mean, I'm sure someone knows out there, but like I said, all of them look a little bit warped to me compared to what I'm seeing in my head. But I would just say that, like, if I saw these two in person and I had to choose between them, I would be fine with either of them. Maybe I like this one a little bit better. I actually think that looks a little bit cooler for some reason, but that's kind of the main difference there. But I don't really see very many differences in regards to the color and everything. Again, though, you're going to get these strange weapons with this, and same thing with Pink's. I tried to have it in her hand, but I don't know why it wasn't standing, but here's Pink's strange little weapon that comes with the standard retail release. And again, same articulation that I went over with Black, no loose joint problems, all that jazz. Now, the other significant thing about this release, other than getting green and black and the swords, is Blue is fixed, because if you recall, Blue had the most major problem, let me zoom out a little bit here, with his head. He had this weird, fully painted silver bald cap, so you have the actual accurate looking thing there, which is a plus. And honestly, the visors look near identical to me. Maybe this one's a little bit wider, but they look more identical than Red and Pink's do. But it's definitely nice to have the actual accurate thing there. That was always a really annoying paint mistake to me. You know, I let things slide on these a lot because they're just the standard releases that are meant for kids, and they're not meant to be high-end collector's versions or anything like that. But I thought this was a pretty big mistake, especially on the package when you have the big art photo of him right there with the way he's supposed to look. However, of note, I believe I've heard that somebody spotted some individual releases for Blue that now have the fixed head, so keep an eye out for that. So if you don't want to buy this 5-pack, that might not be the only way to get a fixed Blue head. But regardless, it's nice that they fixed it for the set. It just kind of made an extra element of the set more enticing. Alright, now just real quick, we're going to cut away and show some of the comparisons to the other versions for these, as well as the lame sounds they make in the Morpher, as well as the inconsistent sounds, which are the same. Okay, so here we have all the various versions. As you can see, this is the one that comes with the figure, this is the one that comes with the Megazord, and this is the Ryusoulger version. You can see those across the board. I'm kind of doing an all-together look at all of them, because if you've watched any of my other Dino Fury reviews, or any other Dino Fury reviews, you've probably seen all these at this point. And you know, these, you know, you remember they're all just stickered like this. And then these ones do have another side where these pop off and there's little figures in there, or little figures, there's like a little sculpt in there of the Ranger. And then these obviously have like kind of the sculpted knight look to them, and they can actually have that flip gimmick, which none of the other ones have. So you pretty much know the differences if you've watched any of the other reviews before. So I just kind of wanted to showcase that. So I'll link to my other reviews of the Morpher and the figures and stuff so you can sort of see all the differences and whatnot. Alright, and for the keys, I'm just going to show a couple examples because you've probably seen these all before, and I'll link to my Morpher and figure review if you want to see the more complete sounds. But the sounds for these, if you guys know, isn't like normal ones where they're very concise. It's just kind of a bunch of different random sound effects. And I'll show off Pink. So just to kind of show you that they're kind of the same sound effects you'd expect, so you're not going to be getting anything new or revolutionary out of this set. Alright guys, so now time for the final verdict. So overall, as far as this set goes, if you don't have any of these figures yet, and you're interested in getting them, I can definitely recommend this set, because it's nice to be able to get all 5, you get the swords, a random ugly buckle, just lots of nice bonuses, and it's just an easy decision all around to pick this up if you don't have any of them yet. If you don't have, if you do have red, blue, and pink, then I don't know. I think that's really up to you. I can't say one way or the other. It just really depends on what's important to you. I mean, you will be able to get green and black individually later, and there also is a blue that's fixed available apparently soon, so just keep that in mind. It just really depends on what's important to you in regards to like the swords and stuff like that, and if you don't mind double dipping. I would just say, if it were me and I wasn't, a hardcore collector and reviewing and stuff, I probably wouldn't double dip. I would probably just wait for the Lightning Collection, because apparently according to some leaks, green and red are on the way. So, I would just pick up the other ones individually and then just wait for the Lightning Collection and save my money for that rather than double dipping. But I will say, this is a really nice set. And even if these figures I think aren't perfect, I think part of me likes the Beast Morphers one a little bit better. I think that overall the helmets are a little bit stranger on these. For all of them, they look a little bit stranger. But they're imperfect figures, but I think that they're still good looking figures for the price point, and I'm happy with them for what they are. Honestly, my biggest complaint about this 5-pack is just how weirdly these are released. I think it's absolutely crazy that they couldn't release green and black within the first year. Like, I know they wanted to scale back and stuff, but it's so weird to me that they're released first as an Amazon exclusive, and it just takes so long to get them, and then they don't have the swords with them, which is kind of part of the ensemble, almost like the Quasar Sabers. That's honestly my biggest criticism, is I think that they made the whole way all 5 of these are released needlessly complicated, and it's just really weird, and I'd love to know the logic behind it, but that really has nothing to do with the product itself. But that's about it for this one though, guys. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell so you can get notifications for my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.